Hello and welcome to Modelling Misadventures. Now I'm going to start a series of videos now that I think might be a bit of a crazy ride, and it may end up as an absolute disaster. In fact, it may end up going nowhere. But anyone that's watched my videos before will know that I'm a big fan of Thunderbirds, and I've made a number of Thunderbirds models now, but one model that I've never attempted so far is FAB1, the pink Rolls Royce. Now, I'm not short of models of this car. I've got this little tiny Japanese model of FAB1 here. Here is the Matchbox version of FAB1. I've got a Japanese model of it here. This is a Chinese model of FAB1. And of course, I've got the Corgi version, a magnificent version of the model. And I've also got a plastic kit of FAB1. But I've always had an idea to build a bigger scale FAB1. Something around the size of a 1/8 scale, as big as the size of these models that you can see over my shoulder here. The problem is I don't really know how to make one. There are some really big challenges. Probably the biggest of all is this fiendishly difficult canopy that we would have to make. But I'm not going to worry about that to start with. I'm going to see whether it's possible to make a body. Now, I've thought of 3 ways in which I could make this scratch build FAB1. One would be to make it out of balsa wood. I'm very used to working in balsa wood. I could cut it all out to shape. But you only get one go at it, and when you've made it, that's it. You can only make it at that size, and it might be difficult to get a really good finish. The second was to use a computer-aided design program to try and design one from scratch. The problem there is I haven't got any CAD skills, and the only program that I can use is Tinkercad. So I'd have to learn how to use a new software in order to have any chance of doing that. And the third way I thought about is to try and scan a model of FAB1 that I already have, and then use a photogrammetry software to try and convert it into something that's 3D printable. Now, of those 3, I'm going to have a go at the photogrammetry first, because I have done this before, and sometimes you can get a decent result. Now, in order to do photogrammetry, you need something to scan. And I didn't really want to scan any of these toys because they are the full model with all the wheels and canopies and everything like that on it, and I think it would be too complex a shape. So I'm actually going to use the body that came with this plastic kit as a starting point for the scan. Now, this is the body that you get in that kit. It's very old, this. I'm not sure what's happened to the colour. I think I might have sprayed it with varnish or clear coat and it's gone yellow. But this is what I'm going to try and use to take a scan of and see if I can convert that into a 3D object for printing. Now, to do photogrammetry, you need to take a lot of pictures of your chosen object, and you can see here that I've taken plenty of pictures of that body. In fact, 176 photographs, and I've uploaded them onto the computer. Now, I'm going to load these pictures into a software known as Meshroom, and once those pictures are loaded into Meshroom, which you can see over here, the program does a series of very complex calculations, and it tries to take all the pixels from the surface data and convert it into a 3D object, which you can see here. And this is the scan of the model. Now, this needs tidying up, and you have to use another program to tidy up to get rid of all these superfluous surroundings. And I used a program called Blender, and from Blender you can then save this three-dimensional object
as an STL file, which can then be used for 3D printing.
Well, I've got my first attempt to show you here. Now, just as a point of reference, this is what we are aiming for. And I don't think you're going to believe this. Just look at this little beauty. So it hasn't gone quite according to plan. The details are not quite where I want them to be.
Home, milady?
Home, Parker.
Now, the reason why that was such a disaster is because this is so shiny. And it's very, very difficult to scan a very shiny object and convert it into a 3D part. So to get over that problem, I'm going to spray this with some matte primer and see if that makes any difference. So after doing a bit of research on the internet, this is what I've done. So I've sprayed the body with grey primer and then I've flicked some black paint onto it. And the idea of this is that the camera will pick up on those dots as a point of reference and it'll help it to orientate the body more accurately in a 3D representation. So that's a theory. So I'm going to scan this again and see if we get a better result. Now I've got this suspended on 3 little wires, and I've also filled in this bit with a bit of 3D printed plastic because I didn't think that that would scan very well. So now I'm going to take a load of photographs of this.
So here's the second set, and I've taken over 200 pictures of this time from all different angles. We'll see if that gives a better result.
Okay, are you ready for the grand reveal? Parker, get the rolls. Yes, milady. Well, here it is, and you can see it is far, far better than the first attempt. It actually does have the shape of FAB1, but if you look at the quality of the surface, it leaves a lot to be desired. In fact, it's a real mess. And then you've got all this problem underneath with supports and fillings. So I'm not convinced that photogrammetry is going to be the way to go. Okay, so what does everybody think? Do you want me to persevere with this project and try and carry on to make a FAB1, or should I abandon it? I'm going to leave it up to you. I'll see what the comments say. Please comment, say one way or the other. If you want me to carry on, I'm going to try a slightly different approach and we'll see how we get on with that. So for now, I'll say goodbye and I'll see you next time on Modelling Misadventures.